Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are tearing into the TIO implementation guide, and we're tailoring this specifically for mid-size enterprises. We're talking about organizations sitting right in that crucial sweet spot of 200 to 1,000 employees. Although, let's be totally honest here, trying to manage an AI rollout at this scale, it usually feels more like a sweat spot. If you're steering a company of this size through the absolute whirlwind that is AI right now, you know the stakes are incredibly high, but your resources aren't exactly infinite. So today, we're going to unpack exactly how you can build a lightweight transformation rhythm that actually works in the real world. Okay, let's kick things off with the core question, the absolute million-dollar question that defines your daily reality right now. Are you too big for informal coordination, but too small for a heavy bureaucracy? It's the classic Goldilocks dilemma. Think about it. When you were smaller, you could literally just shout across the room or hammer out a big decision in a quick coffee break. But at 200 to 1,000 employees, you've got multiple locations, complex systems, massive customer commitments, and very real operational risk. That ad hoc, informal coordination is starting to show some serious cracks, isn't it? So, to solve this dilemma, we've got a highly actionable 4-part blueprint. Here is our game plan. First, we'll cover the mid-sized reality. Then, we'll explore a new operating system. After that, we'll walk through a concrete playbook for the first 12 months. And finally, we'll wrap up with avoiding the bureaucracy trap. Let's jump right into part 1, the mid-sized reality. This is all about navigating that tricky transformation trap between ad hoc fixes and massive scale. Because of your size, you've got a very unique pain point. You have the operational complexity of a massive enterprise, but you definitely don't have the bloated budget or transformation capacity of a Fortune 500 company. That means we have to completely avoid heavy bureaucracy. We are absolutely not building a giant project management office here. Nobody has time for endless planning cycles or separate, disconnected tech silos. Instead, what TIO prescribes is a lightweight rhythm. We're talking weekly or bi-weekly executive check-ins, leveraging the scorecards you already use, and a relentless laser focus on measured value. You need visible accountability, for sure, but without all the corporate bloat. Moving right along to Section 2, a new operating system. And the subtitle really says it all. This is about upgrading the entire organization, not just swiping a credit card for some new software. This is a massive, fundamental paradigm shift in how we actually execute AI integration. Too many people think AI is just a shiny new tool you buy, toss over to the IT department, and magically watch productivity go up. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work that way. The crucial takeaway is this. The leadership team in formal transformation rhythm must become the system. I want that to really sink in. At your scale, informal chats aren't going to cut it anymore, but you also can't afford to outsource the heavy lifting to a massive consulting firm. Your leadership team's operation rhythm literally has to become the transformation engine itself. How you meet, how you make decisions, and how you govern. It all has to evolve. And this is exactly why AI is an organizational change, not just a technology side project. Think of your company like a set of interconnected layers. Technology and AI are just the core. But wrapping around that core, you have your data, you have your factory, which represents your redesigned workflows, you have your people, and holding that entire system together is leadership. To use AI safely and effectively, that whole system has to evolve together. If you only obsess over the technology at the center, the rest of the organization will basically act like an immune system and reject the change. So how do we actually pull this off? Let's get into Section 3, the first 12 months. This is your concrete 4-phase playbook. We need a clear timeline so we don't get overwhelmed. This roadmap anchors the whole journey. It takes you from a bunch of scattered, potentially risky AI experiments, all the way to a fully governed, value-producing machine in 4 distinct phases. And the first moves happen fast. The first 4 months are tightly sequenced to get your mandate set and your system built, so you can propel straight into execution. Let's break it down. Phase 1 hits in months 0 to 2. This is setting the mandate, and it's an existential conversation. What must this organization become, and why right now? You have to lock in explicit executive sponsorship. But here is the real kicker. You absolutely must launch an executive AI fluency program. Why? Because an uninformed executive team is going to stall your entire transformation engine on day 1. You just can't make smart strategic decisions if you're relying purely on AI vendor hype. Then we roll right into Phase 2, which overlaps a bit into months 1 to 3. This is where you make the tough strategic choices. Listen, you can't do everything. You have to decide where you're going to play and honestly, what you are going to say no to in order to protect your limited capacity. You'll build a strategic choices cascade for just the handful of priorities that actually move the needle. Then translate those choices into a balanced scorecard for your managers. And explicitly, and I mean explicitly, link your budget to these choices. If a pet project doesn't link back to the strategy, it doesn't get a dime. Simple as that. Phase 3 hits in months 2 to 4, and this is where it gets real. You're building the accountability engine. Now remember our golden rule, no massive steering committees. You know the ones, 20 people in a room, talking for an hour, and absolutely nothing gets decided. Forget that. You need a lightweight TIO leadership rhythm with a tight core group of just 3 to 5 cross-functional leaders. Every single agenda item must end with a decision, an action, an owner, or a deliberate hold. And whatever you do, run a maturity assessment before you lock in your final program. You need a brutally honest baseline of where you stand today to close the gap between your massive ambition and your actual reality. And finally, Phase 4 takes us through the rest of the year. This is the fun part. Mobilize and prove value. We stop treating transformation like an endless planning exercise, and we actually start executing. Your managers step up to communicate the change and activate their teams. Your AI use cases stop being shadow IT projects and start moving through visible evidence gates. And most importantly, you measure the value and adjust course every single quarter. We're chasing real ROI here, not just theoretical capability. Which brings us to our final section, Part 4, Avoiding the Bureaucracy Trap. Because the secret here is using what you already have. Now, as leaders of mid-sized companies, I know you're looking at that 12-month playbook and thinking, how on earth do we do all this without drowning my team in new paperwork? Well, this right here is your golden rule. Seriously, write this down. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. A beautiful complex governance model that doesn't actually change human behavior is nothing but a calendar burden. Do not add a new management layer if an existing system can do the job, period. Just take what you have, strengthen it, and point it straight at your transformation goals. You absolutely do not need to reinvent the wheel. Got monthly reporting or scorecards already in place? Perfect. Just take your new strategic AI choices and turn them into metrics on those exact same reports. Got a performance management routine? Great. Use it to cascade your new expectations and reward teams that adapt. You can literally map your new AI and data risks straight into your existing cyber or safety routines. Connect the pieces you've already built and just tune them up for the age of intelligent automation. As we bring this explainer in for a landing, we need to talk about ultimate accountability. There are a few key starting questions every leadership team has to face head-on. From figuring out where AI is already being used invisibly in your ranks, to making hard calls about which workflows actually need to be redesigned before you throw AI at them. Having this starting conversation forces total clarity and cuts right through the hype. I'm going to leave you with this exact, provocative question to take back to your team today. What must be true 3 years from now for stakeholders to say this transformation created real value? Ask that in your next executive meeting. Because here's the truth. In the age of AI, standing still is absolutely not an option. But moving recklessly without a plan, that just destroys trust. Your success entirely depends on the direction and the rhythm you set right now. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.